Hey everybody, welcome to Blacktop Banter. This is Marvin. I'm just checking in. This is episode 1, so I'm excited for that. Hopefully you've heard the intro episode. That was kind of my test. I've been kind of bouncing this idea for a podcast around now for a few years. One of my good friends in the green industry has a podcast, and it just seems like a good idea for our industry. I bounced the idea off a few guys that I trust and I know, and it seemed like they thought it was a good idea and they liked the test run, the very first part there. So here I am. I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot, and hopefully we can keep the ball rolling. Seems like there's a need and this could be fun. Hopefully we have some guests coming up and things like that. I'm not sure how to do guests, but we'll figure that one out when it comes to it. It seems like I've been able to handle all the tech stuff so far, so I'm sure I'll be able to cross that bridge when we come to it. And I have had a couple people agree to it already, so that's good. I got to give a shout out right away though to Henry Boswell with Boswell Paving. That's actually his Instagram is @BoswellPaving. And as soon as I made that very first intro, it was kind of serendipitous because he messaged me on Instagram and said, "Dude, have you ever thought about doing a podcast?" And I said, "Dude, go to Spotify. It's on there already. I'm just starting it." So, shout out to him. If you haven't seen his slurry seal videos on Instagram, the oddly satisfying hashtag, that it applies to those because I don't know. I love his slurry seal videos on Instagram. I could watch them all day. It's funny the things that get your attention on Instagram, but there's a lot of contractors out there and a lot of people out there from within our industry and kind of on the edge of our industry that use Instagram, and I learn a lot from Instagram, so shout out to Henry. The other guy I got to talk about is Kevin Alford. I spent probably 45 minutes on the phone with Kevin Alford today. His Facebook group, Asphalt Sealcoating Coalition, is just about to 1,000 members. We were talking about how hard it is to build a group and make sure that it's vetted and that it's done correctly, and it seems like they're doing that there. Kevin's a solid dude. I met him now. This will be a couple times I've met that fella at National Pavement Expo. We've seen each other this time, and we were just talking about the guys within our industry and the guys that are in his group, the things we want to see, the things we want to do. He came out and supported me at the Titan booth at National Pavement Expo. So I think it's only right if we're going to support each other. I support that fella, and his group on Facebook, ASC is the abbreviation, but it's Asphalt Sealcoaters Coalition. I like posting in there. I posted a live video in there today when we went to get our shirts done. This isn't one of my shirts. This is actually Jim Panzenhagen's chalk liner shirt, chalkliner.com. I went to get my shirts done, and thanks for the shirt, Jim, by the way. I went to get my shirts done and redesigned for what we're doing, this year for the guys. I say guys, but usually it's me and 2 guys and then somebody in the office. But we're a small time outfit trying to do big things, and that's the thing about the Facebook groups. They have guys that are doing big things and guys that can learn from them, like myself and anyone else. So it's a good mix, a good blend. They're trying just to keep everything happy and peaceful inside that group and keep it learning and keep it fun. It's always fun to see what people are up to, what their jobs look like, stuff they encounter and things like that, and that's a good group. So hopefully I can have Kevin on the show here sometime soon. However you do that, I'll figure that out, but we'll get him on here. The other thing was I got an email. I get a lot of emails and I get a lot of messages, and sometimes I get calls. I had a call last night from a guy in Philadelphia asking about getting into the industry. He was wondering if he really had to spend 15 or 18K on a pre-made unit, and of course I explained that he didn't have to, but the guy didn't know anything and messaged me through our business page, and we started from there. I didn't have any clue of how to look for units on Craigslist or even put one together or how they worked or pickup trucks or anything, and I did my best to lead him in the right direction that I could. But I did get an email kind of like that. It's from somebody named Bob Jones, who kind of seems like a made-up name, but there's been a few times I've got questions and emails and had people call where I was kind of speculative, like, are they just fishing me or what's going on here? But anyways, I'll read it. It says, "Hi Marvin, I was watching one of your videos yesterday and you said you could start a seal coating business for as little as $1,500 to $2,000. Where are you getting that number from? If we are using a brush and a squeegee, then there aren't too many other expenses. A blower, a weed whacker, a power tool, a metal rod for mixing, and some small tools is all I can think of. Am I missing anything? Just wondering how you got to that calculation of $1,500 to $2,000. Well, I took into account a truck, obviously, to get stuff there. So that's a big chunk of your money, if not $1,000, $1,500. A little bit of background on Wiscoat. When I started, I had a gray F250 that was pretty much gifted to me. I did have to pay a little bit for it, but that was my start. I really appreciate those guys that gave me that truck, and then I got a tank given to me, and I really appreciate that gift. I just paid for the welding, I think. I don't even think I paid for the welding. I think the tank was given to me. I bought a valve, a hose, a leaf blower, hand weed eater from Walmart, a stiff broom, and a squeegee. And I used cold pour crack filler right away just to get out, get knocking doors, and get started. So I would say it's right around $2,000 probably to get started. Maybe not taking in all that first load of sealer or 100 gallons of sealer or whatever you can afford, but you can get into it. You can buy a plastic tote for $40, a hose and everything else. So I know guys can get into it for $2,000 if not less. But obviously you're not talking about really a high quality business at $2,000, and you can build up from there. Some guys are trying to jump in from another business or retire or do a side business or whatever at it, and they're wanting to spend $20K to jump in. Fine, whatever. But that's how I got to those numbers, Bob. So I hope that answers your questions. I'm going to try to answer some more questions on future podcasts. And hopefully, because the podcast starts going, I'm going to try to do one a week for everybody. Hopefully that's what happens. I'm going to try to get some reading material, and maybe I'll be able to cover some articles and stuff. Kevin Alford and I were talking about things that smaller guys could use, and I'm going to be writing an article for Pavement Mag about using Facebook ads to drum up work in business, and hopefully I can parlay that into teaching another class at National Pavement Expo. I'd really like to do that for guys, maybe two, who knows. But I did get something in the mail today. We are just jumping on board with the 800 Pavement Network. So we have 1-800 Blacktop here now in the 608 area. I'm just kind of curious about, I'll show you guys. There I am. They got me on there even. So if you're watching on YouTube, because I am recording this too, you got to see that a little bit. But I'm kind of curious just how it is working for the guys that have those numbers. It looks like it does great things. I'm excited. If you have some experience, you want to share that with me, message me on Instagram at Wiscoat LLC, or on Facebook, Marvin Joels III, or you can do it through the Wiscoat Facebook page. Email me, whatever, however, call me, whatever you guys want to do. But yeah, I'm just kind of curious. I've talked to a few guys, and some guys like it. So interesting, 800 Pavement Network. So yeah, we're part of that thing now. In the meantime, I guess we can kind of talk about the podcast. It's something I want to do. I want to get guys on here. I want to learn from guys that, one guy I really look up to is Tom Esso. He is at the Pavement Expo every year, and now he's become a huge staple there. Solid guy, very grateful guy, humble. But to me, that's a big dog. That what they do, him and his brother Anthony, they do some work, man. So I want to learn from those guys how to get to that point. You do that at National Pavement Expo. There's only 4 people on my crew, sometimes 5 if I can keep somebody around. But those guys are doing a lot of guys. They're having a lot of guys on their crew doing big numbers. Tom's teaching some great classes about how to be efficient. If you haven't been to the National Pavement Expo and you think it's just for big companies or not for you, I assure you it is for you more than likely. The networking has become a major attraction to the National Pavement Expo. That's what I look forward to the most, is talking to people that I haven't got to see in a year, because I want to learn. I learned so much this year from some good friends. And you get back home and they're emailing you, stuff that you were looking for, and you're doing the same for them. So it really helps out. I really liked being at the Titan booth this year, passing out some Wistcoat and Titan t-shirts. That was a good time. The video is going to be dropping here pretty soon on YouTube for that. And, you know, it was great I signed shirts, which was crazy to me, you know, that people were wanting that. And I was just really humbled by the whole experience. I hope we get to do it again because it was a great thing. The other thing is when you are in that kind of position, people will be like, yo, I use the same striper and it works great. Or I had another guy come up and he's like, I haven't even started in the industry, but because of your videos, I want to buy this striper. What about this, this, and this? And, you know, it's a great conversation starter. So there's guys at the expo that aren't even in the industry. They're just there to learn to get started. And there's guys that have been there a long time that learn something new every year, which is great as well. And then, you know, this year that for the leadership boot camp, it really got people pumped because it was talking about culture within your company. You know, Brian Hess was speaking, and Chris Hogan from Dave Ramsey camp was speaking, and it was great to get that out there. We really appreciate National Pavement Expo, you know, getting those guys on the docket, and then all the guys that spoke at the classes, great knowledge dropped on everybody. So I'm hoping we can kind of keep that momentum going. One of my good friends and I were talking about trying to keep that momentum going all year, keep the interest going all year. And that's what I'm excited for. Hopefully with the podcast, it keeps it just in people's ears and keeps them wondering what everyone's up to. You know, and hopefully there's some topics. Hopefully we're out there seal coating driveways, and you got me on the podcast in your ear talking about seal coating driveways and techniques we used. I was just talking with somebody in a group yesterday about a technique I'd never thought of. So we were talking about, I actually posted a meme, and the meme was when the new guy grabs the trim brush and just starts going and gets the concrete everywhere, you know, and it was just like the guy was saying, no, like it's a nightmare. And from that meme, somebody posted and said, hey, take your pump up can and real lightly wet that concrete down before you trim out by it, or before you let them trim out by it. That way, if you do get sealant on there, it's already wet, so it's not absorbing instantly. And I thought that was a good tip. I'm going to try that thing out. But that just came from being in these Facebook groups, you know, multiple Facebook groups where not everybody is in every single group. So you might miss out on some stuff if you don't go here and there in the asphalt industry Facebook groups. But, you know, the other thing is Instagram. I really like Instagram for the fact a lot of people don't use Facebook, but they like to show off their work, so they get on Instagram, and you'll find contractors and stuff on there too. So that'll be kind of the gear of where I want this thing to go. You know, hopefully down the line we can get some people from Instagram, some people from Facebook, some guys that are in charge of some products that some companies make. Hopefully we'll be able to do some live podcasts with people, you know, or at least record them together with me so we're in the same room. I imagine I can make that happen with as much as I get around checking out what people are up to. You know, and then hopefully share this sucker so a lot of people you know, that are in our industry realize, hey, maybe I can ask Marv a question, maybe I got some insight on this topic, maybe I just want to learn, and he's talking about something from Pavement Mag that I was wondering about. And if I can't get the answers, I will get the people that will get us the answers at some point somehow. I can promise you that, because my curiosity won't let it sleep. So I hope everybody's getting ready. We are getting flyers ready, getting mailers ready. We, like I said, we went and got our shirts designed and redone for this season. I'm excited for them because now that we're on the 800 Pavement Network, I can put 1-800 Blacktop all over everything, and which I plan to do. And hopefully that drums us up some work. But you know, that's kind of what's been going on around here. It's freezing cold. There's a lot of snow. We're in the office getting everything ready. I know I was talking to a couple guys today that were down south, and they were working, patching holes, filling cracks. I wish I was there. I wish that's what we were doing right now. I wish we were at that moment. But we got snow, we got ice, and we're going to do office stuff for a while. So hopefully I can get a podcast out a week for everybody. Maybe I'll be able to do 2 a week. That would be great, because I'm going to try recording and posting and editing the YouTube videos as well, and we'll get things rolling. So thanks a lot for listening. This is Blacktop Banter, and I was gonna think of a different name, but banter seems to be the only word I could come up with. Blacktop, that seems like it goes together well, and banter means to talk and have some fun, and I'm hoping that's what we're gonna do with this thing. So I'm Marvin, this is Blacktop Banter. You can find me on Instagram at Wiscoat LLC, or on Facebook, Wiscoat Asphalt Maintenance, or by my name, Marvin Joels III. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening and watching.